So it's adapted from Tato's tutorial, which you can probably find on YouTube if you have a look. But I decided to have a go myself, and so we can have the actual build order on the screen whilst we watch what's happening, just so we can relate to exactly what's happening. So without further ado, I shall start. So first thing you do, queue up some villages in your town centre, and then make a house with 2 villages and a house with 1. Send your sheep over if you've got them. If not, you go and find them. But send your sheep over to your town centre so you can start farming from them. And you're going to want your first lot of villagers out onto the sheep until you've got 6. So this build order is quite tricky. It's very fiddly, to say the least. I think takes quite a lot of bit of microing with certainly the actual drush itself, which I don't execute very well at all in this tutorial. But then also having to make sure your economy is doing alright as well. So quite a tricky one. I mean, it must have took me about 10 attempts to get a video in a decent time. So I still need to practice it quite a bit. I'm getting there. Well, it wasn't too bad with this one. So as soon as you've got your 6 villages on sheep, you send the next one over to wood. And you keep sending villagers over there until you've got 4 on the wood. So the standard start, I suppose, pretty much same as most build orders. Sometimes you see some build orders with 3 on wood, not for a Drush Fast Castle, but just in general. But for this one we'll be going 4, and I generally tend to go 4 on wood for any of my build orders. Keeps it simple. Here comes number 4 for the wood, and the next one is going to go over to the boar here. So as you can see, whilst all this is happening, I've been scouting with my sheep. Scouts going around just trying to find the rest of my sheep and where all the boar are. But the key to this is just making sure that you have no idle time on your TC. It's constantly producing something, whether it be a villager or a loom. So this one is going to go out and get the boar looms on its way in. And then the next step is to send a villager from wood to make 2 houses, and then with the TC just send 3 villagers over to the berries. As you can see, boars come in, and it's going to be not a bad lure. As you can see, the villager comes straight out, making a mill for the berries. And these next 2 are going to come out and go to the berries as well. So just be mindful of this villager who's making the houses. Don't forget about him. So as soon as that house is built, send them straight back to the wood. So there's no idle villagers knocking about. Yeah, the key to this, well, the key to the whole game actually is speed. As you can see, I just force dropped off some food just to make sure I had enough. But as you can see, the town centre is just constantly producing. Now this next one that's going to come out is going to go over to here and collect that second boar and bring that one back to the town centre. Not that much food left on the boar here, so looks as though that boar is going to run out by the time the second boar comes in. So all you need to do in that instance is just send those villagers over to collect that sheep there, just so that they're still doing something. Next villager to come out will go over to the berries, just so you've got a total of 4 on berries. And then after that, your next villager is going to come out and collect 10 gold. That's all you need. So no making mining camps. You just need 10 gold from it. As that boar comes in, just make sure you kill it. But because your sheep's still there, just take a couple and put them back on the sheep till the sheep is finished. So the next villager to come out will be going to make a barracks, followed by 2 houses. And then once it's done that, it will go over to wood. See the gold miners coming back in. As soon as they've dropped that gold off, they're going to go on to wood there. As you can see, that sheep expired, so they're going to go back onto the boar. The next villager that came out has gone to the wood, and so will the next one about to come out now. So the next two that come out are going to go over to the berries. As soon as your barracks comes up, start making militia. I've put that in capitals because I did forget to do it for a little while, but you need to start making militia as soon as that barracks is up. So when your boar's pretty much finished, take 4 of them, send them over to your deer patch and start milling those deer. So next villagers came out, so we now have the total on 6 on berries. Those 4 from the boar are just going to go onto the sheep there, and pretty much now you just need all your remaining villagers to be going on to wood, just on your straggler trees. When you've got 60 food, 60 wood, start making some farms. Now I am keeping 100 safe in the bank because eventually we are going to make a gold mine over there. But in this instance, just keep popping out villagers, and then as soon as you've got the spare 60 wood, send them to farms. So you should be having about 6 farms in total. MILITIA, I'm just doing a Drush Fast Castle build order tutorial. So welcome. As you can see, more and more just coming out onto the making farms. As you can see, the militia are on the way up. The scout needs to come around. Now I do a really bad job of micro in this push, but generally you just need to try and focus on that as well as you're sorting your economy out. So as you can see, still making farms, and then we've got 1 more villager to come out. They're just dropping their food off. So pretty much there or thereabouts now. As soon as this villager comes out, I'm going to click up to the feudal age. There we go, it's a few seconds idle time there for the TC. For some reason, when that villager popped out, the feudal age icon didn't come up, so I had to deselect the town centre and then select it again. So I don't know what happened there, but it cost me a few seconds, which was annoying. But once that sheep had finished, you send 4 over to the gold. Make a mining camp, start mining gold. You can, if needed, take 1 of the villagers from the straggler trees and send him over to gold as well, giving you a total of 5. It all depends on how late it is you're sending them over to towards the gold, really. I was quite late, really. Probably do with it a little bit earlier, but if you are doing it as soon as you click up, just make sure you send another villager over to give them a hand, otherwise you're not going to have enough. At this point we've got 28 villagers. As you can see, my Drush didn't do very well because I was messing about, really, just not really paying them enough attention to it. They ended up wandering into the CC and dying, so a bit dreadful, really. So yeah, just when you're doing this yourself, you have to try and make sure you're microing that little army a bit better. But just going into the wood line, just harassing, just causing them a bit of idle time there. But as soon as feudals come in, just quickly click to make another couple of villagers. Send a couple of villagers over to make an archery range, and another one to make a blacksmith. So not looking bad gold wise. Food's not too bad either. I think that they're going to drop the food off from the deer there in a second. So fingers crossed, should be alright. So once these buildings go up, the next one. So I've got all the resources, just waiting for that archery range to come up, so I'll just quickly send that villager over to finish it off, and then we're clicking up, send that villager back over to collect the wood, and then those couple from there go over to wood as well. So just starting to make some archers, just so I've got some ready for once I get into the castle age, so I can start with a bit of early aggression straight away. Now this was against AI, and the AI was pretty much normal fast castling, so the actual attack from this doesn't go amazingly well. But if you're playing against a player who suddenly starting to rush you with scouts or something, you'll have the tech advantage by the time they actually get to you. In this instance, I got up there, started causing a bit of damage, and then the AI started chucking some knights out, so it didn't go too well. But I did only attack with 4 crossbowmen at that point, though. And I probably could have spent my resources a little bit better once I got into the castle age, to be fair. As you can see, those have finished off with the deer, so I've sent them over here to make a lumber camp on the side of the trees. And after sending them there, I just decided I would. Those who were from berries, 2 of them made wood. The rest of them got rid of that last sheep and then came over. So we managed to reach the castle age at 16 minutes and 48 seconds, which if you look at the Drush Fast Castle tutorial from Tato, I'm only 8 seconds behind Tato, so I was quite pleased with that. Every other time I've tried it, I've been about 50 seconds behind Tato, so I did really well this time. But those are just going in for a bit of an attack now. As you can see, that the crossbow attack came in. I did house myself, so a bit of a messed up a little bit there, but tried to get thumb ring, and then eventually I do make another. Well, I make a university because I figured, oh, I'll get ballistics. Probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just made another archery range and started pumping out as many crossbowmen as possible. But generally, as you can see, coming up now, obviously not got enough food to get any upgrades or anything at this point. So I've probably gone a bit too heavy onto wood. But generally, yeah, that is the build order. Quite tricky, quite fiddly, but it works okay. Managed to get there in the end. Just with a bit of practice, bit of better micro in from myself, and what have you, it will be good. So I'm going to keep practicing these. But yeah, as you can see, crossbowmen are still in there now. Killed quite a few villagers, and this is where he starts pumping some knights out. But 4 villagers down there. Probably going to take that one down as well. Yeah. More and more coming out. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and hope it proves to be useful. Obviously, as you can see, I've not mastered it yet in terms of the micro inside of it, but quite happy with only being 8 seconds behind Tato, seeing as he's a pro player. That's fantastic for me. Certainly a bit better than 50 seconds what I was getting before. So here we go, the knights are out. Look. But yeah, hopefully you can practice it and you can start mastering it, get your speed up, improve on the micro. That's certainly what my plan's going to be, and become quite deadly with it. I think it's quite an advanced build order personally, because it's just a lot to do. But thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy it and you do find this useful, by all means hit that subscribe button and you'll be able to get regular updates of whenever other videos are uploaded. You can also find me on Twitch TV as Armorley1985. You can come and join me and get involved in some community games. There's also my email address in the description, as well as the build order in the description. But with the email address, you can send over some recorded games if you want them cast in, and featuring on the channel. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.